Today, Times Square is the most radiant location in New York, attracting 50 million tourists every year. But if you were to step foot in this exact place back in the 1970s, you wouldn't see any family-friendly Broadway shows. You would see a hell on earth. Following the Great Depression, the glitz and glamour vanished. Times Square plummeted straight into a dark era of decline. Grand theaters and luxury hotels were replaced by adult movie theaters, go-go bars, and open-air drug markets. The New York Times once called 42nd Street the worst block in the city, a dangerous concrete jungle where crime ran rampant and police morale hit bottom. Over 2,300 crimes occurred every year within the span of just a single block. Abandoned buildings became homes for squatters, while bright neon signs masked the brutal reality of the streets below. It was a chaotic, lawless world, a far cry from the tourist paradise we know today. Join us as we explore In 1980, amidst a dangerous New York, a team of the Guardian Angels volunteer group prepares to head out. Their critical mission is to bring safety back to the city's crime-ridden subway system. In the chaotic mid-1970s, Bill Murray, a young actor, poses in front of the cheap neon signs. Behind him is a 25-cent peep show, a symbol of the decline that once defined Times Square. In 1975, a man walks past the entrance of a topless bar. These provocative images were displayed openly on the streets, exposing the raw and decadent side of Times Square at that time. In 1975, a man walks past the entrance of a topless bar. These provocative images were displayed openly on the streets, exposing the raw and decadent side of Times Square at that time. In 1979, outraged women took to the streets, marching through the neighborhood, holding signs high. They actively protested against pornography in a desperate attempt to fight back against the moral decay consuming their community. In October 1975, an adult shop featuring a kinema and live shows operates openly in the Times Square area. Prominent signs advertising X-rated movies open 24 hours a day draw crowds of passersby right in broad daylight. A man checks out the services at a 25-cent peep show store right next to the entrance of a sensitive meeting place featuring young girls. During this era, brothels operated by organized crime syndicates ran completely in the open without facing any legal consequences. In 1978, at the corner of 46th Street and Broadway, the Follies Burlesque Theater proudly displays upcoming shows featuring Valerie Kraft and Marinka. These striptease performances, branded as Miss Nude America, became the dominant form of entertainment in major theaters back then. In 1978, the entrance to the Rap Studio, a strip club and adult bookshop in New York City, provocative illustrations lined the storefront walls, while everyday citizens walked past seemingly accustomed and indifferent to such places. In 1980, the Roxy Burlesque Theater stands right on New York City's infamous 46th Street. The building's facade is decorated with giant cutouts of exotic dancers, a clear sign of how the adult entertainment industry had devoured the city's old cultural icons. In 1983, cinema signs on the Rivoli Theater and surrounding cinemas along Broadway proudly advertised mature films and dramatic shows. This bold imagery completely dominated the entertainment hub of New York City. In 1975, curious tourists look into the shop windows of Times Square as they walk beneath the marquee of the Globe Theater. The venue was boldly advertising a performance promoted as the Wilder Show in Town. In the late 1970s, a pedestrian stands near a local commercial venue on 42nd Street. Near the main entrance, a bright yellow sign captures the attention of passers-by, promoting a late-night musical production with an open-door policy. A street orator walks quietly down 8th Avenue during the daytime. Behind him stands the immense facade of a crowded metropolitan theater, a striking contrast between traditional public messages and modern urban transformation captured in a single photograph. In 1981, a giant billboard for a theatrical show dominates the intersection of 8th Avenue and 42nd Street. This brightly illuminated installation stays active throughout the evening, transforming the nighttime scenery of a rapidly changing neighborhood. In 1970, a local family walks past a standard storefront on a busy avenue. Pedestrians during this decade frequently encountered various bright advertising billboards placed directly along the main sidewalks of the commercial district. By the late 1970s, colorful retail shops and crowded movie venues defined the character of Times Square. The density became so notable that by 1981, national print media highlighted this specific block as the most crowded urban area in the country. In the summer of 1971, a group of young residents walked through the crowded side streets near Broadway. These individuals navigated the busy neighborhood after sunset, showing a realistic view of New York's complex evening environment at the time. In 1976, a plainclothes officer walks past a pedestrian during a regular municipal inspection. Inside the active metropolis, the daily effort to maintain public safety continued as part of a campaign to manage the city streets. In 1979, a municipal patrol vehicle drives slowly past the illuminated signs of local storefronts. The illustration shows the ongoing routine of urban monitoring as teams worked to maintain regular traffic flow in a busy district. In 1975, pedestrians walk past the grand entrance of a popular entertainment venue near Times Square. Above the doorway flashes a large neon sign, lighting up a familiar evening destination in the heart of New York during that bustling decade. In 1978, the massive illuminated sign showcases upcoming musical productions for a local theater located right above a classic family restaurant at 46th Street and Broadway. The heavy presence of the entertainment industry had seamlessly integrated into everyday dining and commercial spaces. Circa 1978, a historic marquee offers admission to a local novelty exhibition hall, standing out prominently on the streets of New York City. Beneath these retro advertising words, crowds of people walk past daily, focused on their routine commutes through the busy district. In 1984, historic cinemas and classic performance theaters line up side by side on New York City's 42nd Street. From the Apollo venue to the nearby grand stages, every building facade was covered in flashing, vibrant signs, creating a chaotic and dense cultural strip in the area. In 1980, a performer wearing retro costume accessories scales a massive vintage commercial billboard on 44th Street. This incredibly bold and unusual public stunt reflects the eccentric and expressive street culture of a segment of New Yorkers during this period. In 1970, a storefront employee surveys the busy sidewalk as he waits for afternoon shoppers to stroll by. Beside him, a highly detailed vintage poster stands near the entrance, displaying a typical commercial face of New York's retail districts during this era. A staff member stands quietly near the ticket box office of a vintage cinema venue. In the foreground, a large informational sign clearly states the admission policy for the public event, showing how local regulations were displayed along the fast-growing avenues. Beginning in 1966, small novelty storefronts were among the very first retail attractions to arrive in Times Square. Generating significant foot traffic, they opened the doors for a wide variety of cinemas, social clubs, and vintage shops to reshape the neighborhood later on. In 1975, a realistic street scene captures the classic architecture of a local store and wellness parlor on a main avenue. Right in front of this large commercial billboard, residents and families walk past daily, showing the everyday urban environment surrounding the public spaces. In 1978, decorative theatrical billboards for local evening shows and musical reviews hang high at the busy corner of 46th Street and Broadway. The large hand-painted illustration displayed openly became a defining and memorable visual staple that dominated Midtown New York for years. Circa 1980, two men walk past the entrance to a vibrant evening club in New York City. A massive marquee with bright neon bulbs glows intensely, exposing a raw glimpse into the city's uninhibited and wild nightlife scene during that era. During the 1970s and 1980s, the vulnerable population of Times Square and the neighboring Port Authority skyrocketed. Community mission groups had to operate directly alongside local entertainment booths, reflecting a deep social crisis that gripped the city's most fragile residents. In the 1970s, the Blackjack storefront on 42nd Street between 7th and 8th Avenue constantly advertised the latest unconventional media. These shops became rampant across the area, turning the entire block into a chaotic commercial hub for restricted material. In the 1970s, heavy traffic lines the streets of a bustling Times Square. Behind the crowded avenue, historic theaters are covered with late-night movie marquees. The scene captures a dark era of urban decay where a new entertainment industry aggressively rose, overshadowing the city's older cultural landmarks. A group of street youth and local wanderers gather right on the sidewalks of Times Square. Amidst the complex social traps of New York at the time, the innocent yet lost glances of the younger generation expose a troubling reality regarding the safety and future of youth in the city. Two young boys stand on the streets of Times Square at midnight. Their forced smiles with hints of lingering innocence stand in sharp contrast to the restless street life around them. The scene captures vulnerable youth being swept into the brutal struggle of New York's daily survival. On a subway ride back home to the Bronx, two boys look exhausted after a long night in the Midtown district. The dense graffiti covering the battered train walls underscores the suffocating and bleak reality faced by individuals on the margins of New York society. Two teenage wanderers lean against a brick wall, sharing a cigarette while resting on 7th Avenue. A sense of indifference and premature aging is etched across their young faces, exposing a brutal reality where the harsh environment stripped away their childhood. A direct glimpse into Times Square captures the moment strangers approach young people on the street. The constant solicitation happening in broad daylight exposes the immense pressure on local order and a complex underground ecosystem targeting the vulnerable. Under the dim midnight lights of Times Square, the scene captures the complex and troubled social reality of those surviving on the streets. Distorted and unconventional relationships played out openly in the dark, reflecting a deeply unsettling period of social crisis in New York City. In 1979, inside a cramped room, this scene exposes the harsh reality of runaway youth surviving on the streets. The reliance on low-cost substances and a volatile lifestyle dragged these children into a dark, inescapable downward spiral, reflecting a deeply troubling corner of New York society during this era. In 1976, a group of Hare Krishna followers sing and play instruments in Times Square. Their spiritual gathering takes place directly beneath the marquee of a crowded local theater. This sharp juxtaposition highlights a chaotic New York where spiritual pursuits and everyday street life coexisted in a bizarre blend. Three teenage youths pose for the camera while standing on the sidewalk. Their playful and expressive gestures, trying to appear street smart, stood in sharp contrast to the harsh reality they faced every day, a testament to the complex urban crisis of New York City. The raw and atmospheric photographs of 1970s and 80s of New York leave us with a profound reflection on urban transformation and human survival. Every historical frame tells a story that deserves to be remembered. If you appreciate this journey through time, please subscribe to Old Photo History, share this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next chapter of our visual history.